Welcome everybody for this update that I wanted to do before Christmas and the breaks. Also something I like to continue with in the new year to see, what we have going on and to share that with the people who can call in. Obviously, these meetings, 1:30 in the afternoon and in Toronto and Sudbury, and many places we have some time difference as well. So there might be some challenges for people to participate live, let's say, but we will record it so for the people who wants to watch it afterwards. So the idea here is to give cover a little bit of highlights, and I'm myself new here, so I have not been part of everything, but I can share what I know and what has been important for Canada this year. So we're going to do that. We're going to also cover some excuse me, areas of interest. The electrification efforts we're doing. We're going to talk a little bit about COVID as well. We're going to hear a little bit about, or not just a little bit, but a bit about acquisition. So invited also Jason to participate today. And, and then we will end with a Q&A sessions if anyone has any questions, and to keep everything as open and transparent as possible. So without further ado, I think we can get started. Bree, you can go to next slide. This is the agenda. So we can tick off the first point there. Elliot took some very nice photos, I hope. We will find out. And I will done the welcome now already, and I will give some of the important highlights that we've had this year within the company. We normally do a safety share as well, and Reza is going to share that with us. Talk about I don't think we call it the favorite subject, but something that we have there with us still, unfortunately, is the COVID situation. Natalie is going to take us through that. And we will also hear a little bit about the survey that we've done here over the last couple of months. It's called My Voice, and a little bit what is the result coming out from that. Then we will have Jason give us something on the acquisitions. It's been very active here in Canada this year. And then we will end with something about electrification, and Sean will give us some highlights from this. So I think there are some interesting topics here, and I also hope that all find it interesting to listen to. So let's go to next, Bree.
Oops.
Yeah, so there's a couple. I have two slides on this. So what sort of have more occupied our time this year, I would say, and perhaps also both. COVID is there, of course, and what has happened there. We'll take you through that a little bit more in detail on the vaccination policy that we have implemented and stuff like that, and also what is going on a little bit. But I think everyone is so up to date with this. But of course, as a company, it's a big challenge to see how we get through this in a good way. So far, so good, I would say. Almost 2 years in this situation, and hopefully, I say yeah, hopefully, who knows, but things will get better as we move forward. But short term, it doesn't look too encouraging. Anyway, so we have taken a lot of steps there to protect ourselves and the employees, of course, to protect our business, etc., and to make sure that there are not too much disruption from this. So a great challenge, I would say, not a great challenge, but a huge challenge. But I would say great contribution for everyone, because we have really managed this situation in a better way than I think anyone could have expected from the beginning. Yes, we have some things there that some of us need to deal with when it comes to customers and deliveries and I'm not going to go into that because I think people who are dealing with that on a daily basis knows very well what I'm talking about. But if you look at our business, we have been able to win a lot of nice orders this year. The order intake very strong, and our concern is more on the invoicing, to deliver the stuff, and supply chain challenges and component challenges and all this stuff that you hear about, that we are not the only ones who are being impacted, of course. So we also have to deal with that. The other important highlight or area of interest where Canada is, how can we call it, pioneers in the group of Epiroc, and literally we are. We have several equipment here, and we are, as we speak, operating some equipment already, especially the drills and Vale. I think what has come out further to this is the dare to think new approach from Canada to be able to convert diesel to battery. So of course we got great exposure on that worldwide as well, and even got an award for it in the group, innovation. So I think we can be all very proud of that, being in Canada and being in the forefront in this so important area. And we all know this is very much going to be the future, and it's probably going to, the demand is certainly there. It's more a question is how fast can we get up to speed with what is going on, really. On that, we see also the acquisitions and the synergies that will come out from that, both Meglab and FVT. So, not just we are doing things ourselves, we are also organically, but we're also acquiring, skills and competence to be able to deliver even in a better way going forward. So investment in this area is taking place and more will come. Reman program, I think you all heard about that, and I think we have 2 Reman centers, I believe, in the world. One is here in Canada, and the other one is in Tucson, the US. So I think haven't, I suggest you look at the virtual tour video that we have. It gives you very clear, I think, view on what is going on there and what we are doing. But again, this is something that has been talked about for some time. But I think the interesting part is, of course, that we also realizing it, and we can be very proud of what Andrea and his team has put together here in Canada. And this Reman Center here in Canada is not just to source Canada, it's sourcing the whole world basically. So I think that's really cool. Yeah, next. We also are very focused on to create a diverse work environment, and part of that is, of course, the gender diversity strategy. So we are putting a lot of efforts into this area. It's not something that is going to change from one day to another. Very much has to first to do with awareness, the work on the biases that perhaps exist in this, also prepare ourselves to be a welcoming place for a diverse workforce and gender as well, of course. So we are doing a lot of things in media. We are also looking over our processes in terms of recruitment. We are participating in conferences. We also go to schools, and we have apprenticeship programs in Canada, but also worldwide. So there's a lot of attention into this, and I think we are seeing some good things in Canada. Maybe not fast enough, but it's a process that we have, and we are certainly very committed to do the right thing here. And the right thing is to really have a diverse workplace. We all believe in that. Digitalization and automation, very, very important as well. I mean, this is really a way to ensure future sales, I would say. Things are becoming more and more common, if I say so, in terms of equipment itself, hardware or whatever. So what make us different is really how we can put all this together in terms of having autonomous, solutions, but also to be able to handle the big data that comes from our equipment that will help both in terms of situational awareness, utilization, planning, and you have a lot of things that's going on. And at the end of the day, we are there, and our mission is very much to help our customers to be more productive. So it's really going in that direction. So productivity and safety is big, and this area, digitalization, automation, is very much going that direction. So a lot of things going on there. Very, very exciting. As we talked about the electrification here, we have another really exciting activity, and definitely part of the highlight of 2021, and it will continue like that for years to come. Also, not to forget, but we have some really cool achievements here and there's probably a longer list than I have, but as I said, I'm new, so I still need to learn. But when I came, it was a lot of discussion about this Canadian Malartic and Odyssey deal, and that we won. And I think that's a big it's a big event for us to be able to first of all get a share in that region, but also to be part of this huge project, which will have 3 phases basically, and we're in there for sure. And now it's just a question, and it is not just a question, but we have to deliver, of course, according to the expectation from the customer. But congratulations to the team there. In achieving this, Travis, Pierre, Daniel, etc., Olivier. So great stuff, really. And the other one that, talking about surface marathon, well, marathon is not only marathon, we also have IAMGOLD. Very, very, very good, I would say, and deals that we've been awarded. IAMGOLD, for example, will be the first autonomous pit vipers that we will have in Canada. So that's a huge breakthrough. So Chris and your team, good stuff. Mike, really good, and it's going to be very exciting to see this up and running as well, of course. Further to that, we have finalized sale to Greenstone. We got the PO last month. Another good order for our surface division. And then we should also mention and there are more to mention. I just wanted to pick out some, and so please, if there are more, and I know there are more, don't take it like that was not some achievement as well. So very, very good, very exciting, and I think we're looking forward. There will be many more things coming up here, both in terms of the business opportunities we see. They are very favorable. We are taking market share, and I think that's very good. So it's not just a question of that the markets are hot today. We are also doing an inroad there in terms of market share, but also every area, or many of the areas where we're in, that are so exciting, and everyone talks about battery automation, digitalization, you name it. So I feel very proud to be part of Epiroc, and I feel it's really cool to be in a company like this. I think this is making the company even more attractive for youngsters or for others that are looking for some interesting job, or what do you have as a company. So yeah, I think did I have more on my part, Bree, or?
Yes.
I have, of course, people. People is the most important thing we have. So there has been some changes, and further to the management team. There are of course many more, but what I'm going to mention today, what has recently been taking place, and it will show you also a little bit perhaps in what direction we're going as a company here, because this is how we're going to lead the company from the top, let's say. So Frank, I think you all know Frank. He has been promoted, and we now have a sales manager, or national sales manager. So Frank is taking on that with great motivation and passion. I know it. I've been with Frank now here in Sudbury for 2 days, so I can see it in his eyes. So just wait and see. That's what I would say. But again, congratulations, Frank. And we all look forward to see what you will do and support you, of course, in your new role. Fatima is our new controller, replaced Sylvie here back in August. Fatima is not with us today. She is on vacation, very well-deserved vacation, but she will come back here and, of course, finish the year with us, and then they're going to be really busy here closing the year in January, as you know. We also have 2 really new announcements. I think they came out yesterday evening or this morning, I'm not sure when, but they're very fresh. So I'm also very happy to welcome Sean to be our new business line manager for electrification. And I don't think I need to explain why we need someone in the management team doing this. So Sean, with his experience and his passion and what he has done so far, very well deserved, Sean, and you too, very welcome to the team. And we look forward so much to see what will happen here, but no doubt that this will be a success with your leadership. And then to finalize, we have Martin Champagne, who has been appointed our business line manager for technology and digital, or what we call it ETD. So that's one of the newer divisions as well. And that goes hand in hand with what I've said earlier, the importance of automation and digitalization. So now we're going to put even more focus into this. And not saying that we haven't put focus on it, but we're going to get it as well, in really in all our discussions from the management team, and so I think there will be good stuff there, and how we will integrate acquisitions and all that stuff will also be a big part of Marty's contribution as well. So yeah, welcome again, and I'm happy to share this with you all. So we get into the next year, I think, from this point of view, with a sort of a fresh start. So yeah, I think that's my part, Bree, and maybe I'll come back on the questions and the Q&A session later on. So thanks for me for the moment.
Sounds good. Over to Reza.
Oh, good morning and good afternoon, everyone. And thank you for your time today in your busy schedule time. We have a lot of meeting and works, and please thank you as well to participating in this meeting. As usual, one of our improvement tool in regard to health and safety is a safety share that we have to make sure that we are having this in every session that we have. For safety share, today I have something in regard to the Safe Start. As you know, we almost most of us in this meeting now, and also most of us in Epiroc Canada, have completed all 5 units, and we are in next couple of weeks, we are going to have more of our teams going to be completed all 5 units. And anyhow, now most of us already expert in 5 units of the Safe Start. Just again to remind you, Safe Start is based on 4 states, as you know well. 95% of the time, if we are in an injury or in a property damage or collision or serious injury or minor injury, we are in 1 or more states as rush, frustration, fatigue, complacency. which cause critical error as our eyes not on task or mind not on task, or we are putting ourselves in a line of fire, or we losing our balance, traction, and grip. And in this regard as well, if you remember, we put as in online training in Unit 2 more focus on two critical errors: how to improve eyes not on task and how to improve mind not on task. And then in Unit 3, we have a lot of focus how to improve, how to avoid putting ourselves in line of fire or lose balance and traction grip, with a lots of highlight and guideline as some kind of trick and guideline how we can improve. And we decided as well as a homework to make sure that we are picking some of this trick and work on it to make this one as a habit for all of us. And in Unit 4, we put more focus on 4 state: rushing, frustration, and fatigue, and complacency. And in Unit 5, the focus was on how we can use this critical error reduction technique, how use that 4 critical reduction techniques. And then one more slide, Brian, please. And yes, there is also one safety-related habit. Again, we work on all these 5 units to make sure that we are working with this habit in Safe Start, to pick 1 or 2 of them and work on it and to improve our habit in this regard. And again, as I mentioned, we all now accept, most of us or all of us, we are going to complete all 5 units. And now we have to make sure we are using this great training that we had, and as well great guideline that we have, and implement in our work in at home with our loved one, when at road, with our friends, with our co-worker. If we don't implement this technique training that we had, anyhow, we are not going to help ourselves, our family, or our co-workers. Again, the guideline is we have to implement now all this training that we have in our daily routine, job, work, and other. The next one, please. Yes, in regard to COVID-19, as you remember, as of pandemic started in Canada, not in the Canada, we started the pandemic from March 10, 2020. As of beginning of the pandemic, from our Epiroc employee, we had totally 8 employees of ours have tested positive. Fortunately, all of them are recovered and they are fine. Our latest COVID-19 positive case was reported on late October 2021. And then from at the new time, we had a recommendation from Chief Officer of Sudbury District Public Health Unit, and recommended, because we have new cases in Sudbury being the highest in Ontario, to follow the recommendation and advise our lively site office employees to work from home with the coordination of management as of December 1st. The overall in Canada, the situation of COVID-19 was stable for the month of August, September, and October. But beginning from November, the total number of new cases has increased. But when we're comparing the number of new deaths in regard to and also the previous weeks, the number of deaths is decreased or remains kind of same. Within Canada, we have 76% of total population is fully vaccinated, and as well 81.4% of total population have received at least 1 dose as of December 10. The new variant, which classified by World Health Organization as Omicron, it's being also a variant of concern in Canada as well. We are getting more concerned with Omicron variant. Next, please. In this regard, we have some travel restriction. And in this travel restriction, Canada has implemented new travel restriction. There are 10 Southern African countries which the initiation of Omicron variant caused. And these 10 Southern African countries, if we have any foreigner national who have been to any of these countries within the past 14 days, are not allowed to enter Canada. But the new measure also affects Canadian citizens and permanent residents traveling from these countries. They are required to obtain a COVID-19 test in a third country in order to return home. In some temporary cases, the South Africa as a country as well, it is approved to have this third, the COVID-19 test in some temporary cases. But in addition to this test, as you remember, we have 72 hours before entering Canada, we have a test. But Canada has reintroduced on-arrival test and quarantine for travelers from all countries except the US. Fully vaccinated traveler must take a test on arrival and quarantine at home maybe 1 day or 2 days until they receive the negative test result. The next one, please.
Sorry. Hold on, it's not switching. Oh, there we go.
Yeah. Some of the COVID-19 protocol that we have, and still we have to follow until we have a clear way of getting rid of this COVID-19, still maintain 2 meter social distancing, wear mask when unable to keep this physical distance and in common area in the office. Do not touch your eyes, nose, or mouth. Wash your hands often with soap and water. Use alcohol-based sanitizer if soap and water is unavailable. Cough and sneeze into your sleeves. Wear gloves when interacting with high-touch areas. If at any time you are feeling sick or having COVID-19 symptom, stay home and let your supervisor know. Still, vaccine remains the best public health measure to protect our employee and the people from COVID-19, slowing the transmission and reduce the likelihood of new variant emerging. And as well, the Canada introduced using booster dose vaccine. Those who are eligible can receive their booster dose vaccine, which provide an extra layer of protection against COVID-19 and its variant. Thank you.
All right, over to Natalie.
Good, thanks, Reza. Just to add to Reza, kind of a good transition into this here. So those precautions, are not null and void with our vaccination policy. So just because we, are requiring people to show proof of vaccination and complete the enhanced screening process, that does not void any of the screening coming into the office. So if you are fully vaccinated or if you have completed a rapid test and it's come back negative, but you aren't feeling well, you are still requested and required to stay home. So that does not null and void any of this, just so you know. So with that being said, our policy, which has been out since October 1st now, will officially come in effect December 15th, which happens to be tomorrow. So most employees, I believe everybody at this point has received confirmation of what the rollout looks like for them. Those who were subject to the enhanced screening process received their kits either late last week or have received them this week. If by chance you are one of those employees who were expecting a kit, haven't received it yet, please reach out to us immediately, and we will make sure that you have what you need so that everything can take effect tomorrow. Overall, we have approximately 85% of our employees who are fully vaccinated. And to add to that, we would like to show a token of appreciation for those who have followed public guidelines. So stay tuned. We will be sending out some information on a recognition draw for the employees who have been vaccinated. Employees who experience a change of status. So what I mean by that is if you have planned to get a first dose of vaccination or your second dose vaccination within the little, whenever, it doesn't really matter when. If your status changes, please inform HR as soon as possible. because we will need to change obviously the record keeping, and we'll need a copy of your vaccination status. So yeah, any changes, if you do have any questions with what that means, please reach out to us. I noticed that there's actually a typo here in the email address. So it's COVID-19 mca@epiroc.com. So you all have received numerous communications now with that email address in it. If you don't have it, if you don't know where to reach out, just reach out to anybody in HR and we'll be happy to assist you. We can go to the next slide, Bree. Yeah, actually there was a little pop-up there that said thank you. So overall, we just want to thank everybody for your collaboration, cooperation as we're trying to roll out this policy. It's been, it's been quite challenging because restrictions keep changing. So we just thank you for your patience and thank you for helping us out and trying to roll this out in a good way. So just to go over the My Voice survey results. So you all would have had a link to participate in the survey that was sent out at the end of October. And so at the end of November, we have now received the results. So I'll go through a bit of a summary here of what those results look like and what to expect as far as next steps. So overall, our engagement score was 78, which was one score lower than what we did last year, but from a company average, it was very well in line with the total company score of 77. The rating that's calculated is based on those two questions here, so that you would recommend Epiroc as a great place to work and how happy you are at working at Epiroc. So overall, a pretty positive score. Where I was a little bit disappointed to see this year was the response rate. So we did do better than the Pulse survey that was sent over the summer. So we had 60% completion rate from that Pulse survey. So the survey that we did in October was a little better at 69%, which turns out to be 290 of you that completed it. In total, a lot of good comments were left, a total of 407. So although our participation was less than last year's, we did receive a higher number of comments, which was nice to see. Overall, the comments were quite positive. So if you look at the bottom right-hand side, you can see 80% of the comments that were left were of a positive annotation, which is great, 16% neutral and 4% unfavorable. So just so you know, we do have a look at those comments and, the action plans and things that we move forward with. A lot of it has to do with the feedback you leave in the comments. So thanks to everybody who, one, participated in the survey, and two, took the time to leave us a little bit more information in comments. So we can go to the next one, Bree. So some key points that we're going to take as takeaways to build the action plans. So some areas of strength was physical safety. So the feeling of safety while working, which is fantastic. Ethics, so people behave ethically within Epiroc, and prospects, so that they're excited about Epiroc's future, which is great because it's very well in line with the group's direction with automation and digitalization and so on and so forth. The top opportunities that we would like to incorporate in our action plans are action taking, communication, and execution. Close to those also were recognition, collaboration, and decision making. So we do have some good initiatives coming next year that I think will address a lot of those areas. But mainly the managers that are going to be creating their action plans will have a key focus in those areas. So we really hope that when we redo the survey next year, that we're able to score a little bit higher in there. One thing that I would suggest is that if you have special expectations of something that we're still not doing, and you feel comfortable in talking to either your manager or human resources or anybody, especially with regards to the action taking. I feel like we've done some good things throughout the year, but we can always do more. So please feel free to send us an email or call us and say, hey, I think that this would be fantastic. That would go a long way too, so that we know we're well aligned with what your expectations are. So we can go to the next, Bree. Okay, so overall, this is what we're looking at as far as action plans. So the report owner managers. So what that means is that not every manager, unfortunately, has access to a report. Due to confidentiality reasons, a manager has to have at least 5 people within their department that have responded to the survey. So if that's not the case, that manager specifically will not receive a report generated from the survey. But that's fine. We have some workarounds around that we'll communicate with you guys. So the report owners will review the results with their team. They will build their action plans. And then, of course, throughout the year, we ask that you keep up with those action plans. You go back to those plans and make sure that you're closing off any actions, right? One thing to keep in mind is, the point in all of this is not just to create a plan for the sake of creating a plan, right? We want managers to build a plan that has meaningful action that will actually address some of the top opportunities that we have here that the employees have identified as a result of the survey. And of course, the feedback loop is continuous, right? So as much as the managers are responsible to oversee the action plan, we also expect employees to keep active throughout the process also. And that's, overall a quick little overview. So the managers who are report owners, I will be in touch with you to just guide you through the same process we did last year. If there's any questions, of course, you can reach out, but it'll be the same process as we did for 2020. And that's it, Bree.
Great. I'm sorry, the slide sometimes doesn't want to change. All right, Jason, you are up.
Okay, thanks, Brianne. So can you please go back?
Oh, I went a bit too far. Okay, you tell me when to click.
Now the instructions to you. Please only click when I say click.
Will do.
Thank you, Brie. Hello, dear colleagues. I hope most of you still remember me, but thanks for the opportunity as well, Charlie. So today I'm just going to give a short update of the company that we acquired and brought on board successfully during 2021, this current year. And I start with this slide that it just confirms our vision with the acquisition that we made, and that was to accelerate electrification within mining. And Brianne, this is where you give us one click, please. So just so we know, I was told to only have 2 slides, and that's why we have some multiple clicks on these slides. That's another way of getting more information on the slides. But as we can see here, the key building blocks for electrification is in 2 areas. It's on the infrastructure side and also on the products, and that's how we saw it. And the expertise and the capacity we wanted to strengthen was the ability to design, produce, and install efficient and complete electrification infrastructure, as well as telematics in the mines that plan to be more electrified in future. And then on the product side, we also wanted to strengthen and broaden our, let's say, battery as a service business, and also ability to do conversions from internal combustion engines to electrified or battery electric vehicles. So that was the rationale of the strategy we saw. And here we identified 2 targets. So if you can give us 2 clicks there, Brianne. We have the MegLab on the infrastructure side, and we have FET on the product side. And we welcomed MegLab into Epiroc in July, if I'm not mistaken, this year. And then FET is brand new. They just came on board last month, yes, in November. And Brianne, if you can give us a click there, please. The MegLab products and solutions, we can say we offer those in 5 categories. As this slide indicates there under the ST14, we have products under electrification, where we have the Imagine solution, sensors and probes, radio remote control solutions. We have under power, where the big part of MegLab's business obviously is, and that is substations, switch gears, and pumping stations, etc. And then the A there is for automation, and there we have cage automation. We automate rock breakers, pumping stations, ventilation on demand, etc. The T in the bottom there is for telecommunications, and there we have solutions like normal basic radio communications, but also Wi-Fi and LTE. And I think also there's some really good synergies there in future with Marty and the team and other divisions, but to develop that further. And then the fifth area that is not shown on that slide is actually construction. It's brand new in MegLab. As we took them over, they were just starting up. But this is where we do electrical installations and also fire suppression within mining. So those are the 5 areas, and as those bullets also indicate there, it's our ambition is to create a competence hub for electrification within mining right here in Canada for North America, but also for our global markets. And I think that's also why what we're doing here with the acquisitions, working very close with you guys and girls in the CC, and especially Sean and the team around electrification. And I think Sean will touch on maybe some of the projects. If we then look at the latest, so that is MegLab. And then if we look at the latest jewel in the jewelry box, if I can put it that way, this is one again, please, Brianne. It is FET. So Future Vehicle Technologies, that's what the FET stands for. And this brings us the ability to design and to develop conversion kits for our equipment, but also potentially for other OEM internal combustion engine fleets. So the next slide, or the next click, a little bit more on FET, just at a high level. They've been doing designs and batterification for vehicles for 13 years. They started in motorsports, and maybe most of the guys in converting fossil fuel vehicles to battery on road actually started in motorsports. But then the last 8 years, they actually ventured into mining, and they've done a couple of prototypes like this. This vehicle in the background indicates one of their first ones. They have 2 locations. The main one is in Vancouver. And then they also have a facility in Sudbury, Ontario. Staff is, this slide says 23, they basically 25 people in total. And then also focused on excellence and, quality product delivered. And then just the next click there, Brianne, is obviously, as I mentioned, this is the main area what they operate in, and this is actually to do the entire battery electric vehicle drive system. It's also the electronics, the controls, the firmware. They also do some programming, but their big feather in their cap is also this ability to do rapid prototyping, and also getting the prototype out on a trial or on a test in a much faster way than big companies like us would do. So we see really good opportunities for us there. So I think the next slide, Brianne, if you can just have one click there. And before I go on, I'll just do the disclaimer here. Do not try this at home or anywhere else, to try and grab lightning. But it's a slide that we use, and I don't know who made it, but I really like it. And I use this also in MegLab when we brought them on board, and also for FET. So the message here, if you can give us those last clicks there, Brianne, is that the future is electric, and together we are electrifying. And then obviously there is a product that is called Imagine, but I think we can just use the word imagine, and we must just keep imagining and dare to think new. And I think, as Charlie said, we are in a lot of sense leading the charge here around electrification, and our ambition is to continue doing that and doing it in a good and a sustainable way, like we have done up to now. So I think that's mine. So thanks again, Charlie, for the opportunity. And like I said, Sean will touch on some of the projects that we've done together as a team here in Canada.
Yeah, thanks, Jason, and much more to come, right?
Watch this space, like they say in the movies.
Hello, everyone. Just want to touch base on what we've been doing this year, and battery electric vehicles has been pretty exciting. And also to tie in with Jason, it's been exciting with the acquisitions in the same direction to allow this to segment of the market for us to take off. They're going to be good acquisitions that really help us drive this even further. So 2021 has been pretty exciting. I just want to throw this slide up to kind of show everybody that there's been quite a few sales of electric equipment and quite a few delivered. And this kind of shows that there's 44 machines so far sold in the market by Epiroc, and that Canada is leading the way so far with 15, although Jason keeps telling me Africa's sneaking up on us. So, but
yeah, sorry, Sean, just for the record, the RSA, that is also South Africa, so just so we know.
Yeah, well, you got to add a few more, but we're good. Anyways, so it's been an exciting year getting these to the market finally, and Valley's got 10 delivered so far to Canada. And if you go to the next slide, Brian, I'll talk about how many actually delivered to Valley so far. So far, this is a Valley. They've ordered 10 machines, 4 different models. So far we've delivered 7 underground. 3 of the ST14s are assembled, 2 are commissioned, the third one's being commissioned and assembled. And then we have 1 waiting to go underground, waiting for a shop space to put it underground there. That'll happen in January. I hope we're in the new year. 2 Boltecs, they're underground and they're running good, commissioned. So far, just some minor things, but nothing major, and they're running really well. Happy with them at the customer so far. The Boomerang 2Cs, they're both assembled and commissioned underground. One's been running quite a bit. The other one just finished commissioning, so will be running shortly. And then the MT42s, 2 will be going underground next year. So they're in Lively, getting ready. So, and 1 will be painted green, as it is painted green already, as you can see below in the picture. So it's exciting, Valley. They haven't the drilling equipment's getting moving, but the loaders and trucks are slow to get moving. Their swap bay isn't quite complete yet, so we're looking forward to getting more hours on our machines and next year and being successful with that. So really excited about that. Next, Brianne. In 2021, around June, we had a very exciting order from Evolution that came and visited our shop and everything, and with the Midwest working hard with them, Robbie and Joe and the team. We have an order of five pieces for them. So, and we've 2 of them are our ST1030 Revolution, which I'll talk about in a minute, but that's our battery conversions, and one's been delivered a couple weeks ago, one's being commissioned right now at site. So it's pretty exciting. Glad to have another site, another partner in electrification, and I think the 1030 will be running pretty quickly and be able to get some good data and results on that. So that was really exciting this year. Next slide. Just some of our products. So we have batteries as a service. This is a short presentation, but if anybody wants more information, they can contact me or Andy Barrio, both versed in all the products for electrification, so we can expand on this. But so far we have batteries as a service agreements with Valley and Evolution on all the equipment so far. So that's very good. That basically we own the battery and they pay a monthly fee for its use. And we do the servicing and work with the customer in partnership. So everybody's gone for that option so far, but we do offer batteries for sale, and we do offer service as a separate thing if the customer buys them. So batteries with service instead of batteries as a service. So many ways to support the customer in their journey. It is new to customers too, most of them. So we do need to support them and work with them. And then next year, we're going to have an offering for chargers as a service. So we'll be offering service for chargers. So you can see a couple of our battery pictures up there. People have not seen them yet. But and then you can see our old sandblast building in Sudbury now is our batteries and service building. So picture in the bottom right there. Okay, next slide, Brandon. So chargers, we also have Epiroc chargers we've been supplying. So Valley's bought 3 of the multi-voltage chargers cabinets and 7 charge posts. We've only installed, I think, 1 cabinet and 2 posts so far. I wasn't waiting for their charge bay to be done, but everything's in lively, ready to go. And then Evolution has purchased 1 cabinet and 3 charge posts. So a big part of the business is also supplying chargers. And then you can see in the bottom there, we've also purchased with our new partners, MegLab, a charger for trials and testing. And we used that when we were testing the 1030, and we're using it at Evolution right now until their charger arrives. So, because it was ordered a little late, but yeah, it's working out really good. And MegLab supporting us in there. So it's much appreciated and one benefit of the acquisition so far, I guess. Next slide. So one of the biggest things that Canada took on, and we're happy to do that for Epiroc, and really started with Parts and Service Division. This is a Parts and Service Division project. Sorry. So we took on the conversion of old diesel machines to batteries. So we took on the ST1030 was the first one, Revolution 1, first Gen 2 conversion project in the world. And there's a machine there you can see. There's videos and other information available. You can see the original machine was one of our normal cores, and the shop and everybody else did a tremendous job in building this machine. And that's Evolution has bought 2 of them, and we're building the second one right now. The first one, like I said, is at site. It was a collaboration project with Canada, FVT, before we purchased them, and the PC and Sudbury shop. So it was a big project, and it was done. It's supposed to be a rapid project, and it was pretty rapid compared to our usual kind of rollout of these brand new projects. So I want to thank everybody who participated in this, and also thank everybody who's now supporting it in the field and Evolution. I think it's a tremendous feather in the cap for Canada, first one in the world, and very successful. So next slide. So along with that one, we were also able to do a conversion for a Scoop Tram ST14. And in this case, we already had a Scoop Tram ST14 battery, but we wanted to be able to convert old ones. And we joined with Custom Engineering Solutions, or CES, and they worked with us and worked with the new equipment capital people, and we made a kit to convert an ST14 to battery. So again, first one in the world. It's been converted for Gen 2, and it's in our shop at the moment. We had a conditional sale that fell through, but we're still looking to sell it. And anybody has any opportunities, please contact Yanni Veit or any of the service sales group. Yeah, so it's basically the same drive line and everything and battery as the new machine, but as a conversion, so the old cab's still there and some of the older parts, but I think it's very successful. So and we're looking forward to doing many more of those. So next slide. And ultimately, what we want is why we want to do these projects is we want to develop kits. So for Parts and Service, they can sell these kits now for around the world and convert now a 1030 or a ST14 to battery. You just purchase the kits through the Custom Engineering Solutions group. Spain right now is converting a 1030. They're doing the second one. So these kits are now available for the 1030, and I think it's either available or very soon available for the 14. So, and in the future, we're looking at multiple more projects converting diesel machines to batteries. So I've heard from some of you out there, and if there's anybody else has a business case or has a good reason why we should do a certain model, then please forward me that information, contact me, and we're looking at multiple projects right now. So I think it's just going to continue these kind of projects to speed up and with our new acquisitions of FET and MegLab, it's going to help us speed up our growth here and moving forward. So I think next year is going to be pretty exciting as well, and especially with that extra people and the factory really getting on board now. So it is the future. Everybody's asking about these on every tender. We expect maybe we got some good opportunities with Glencore, Brand Mining, and Palace give us a letter of intent for 2 machines. So, and Odyssey's talked about switching some of their newer orders in a couple of years will be battery, even talking about it right now. So anyways, that's a brief overview, but like I said, there's lots more information. They cut me back on the slides. They said I had too many slides, just talked too much. So anyways, but contact me or Andy. We have lots of information on everything that you want to know about batteries, chargers, lifting devices, etc. So, and thanks for everybody's support. That's all I got.
Great. Thank you, Sean. Thank you to our presenters. FYI to everyone, Natalie has posted the correct COVID email address in the chat, so that you can check that out. We'll move on to our Q&A. We'll open it up to the floor, and then Charlie, you can say the farewell. So if anyone has questions, please, now's your chance. Just unmute yourself and ask away.
Hi, everyone. I have a question for Jason. Jason, perhaps you can share with us a bit about the decision process. How is it determined which companies Epiroc will acquire?
Yeah, Raluca, good question. And I think this is also a request to everybody out there is, these companies that we do acquire, and like I said, the jewels in the jewelry box there, but it is the guys and girls out in the market. It's all what you hear from customers, what you see in the trends of our industry, and then bring those suggestions back. All of these companies that we acquired started with a discussion among ourselves. So it's if you here feel we have gaps in our portfolio or in our offering, please feel free to reach out to Charlie and the team, and with me in Canada, also to myself, please. And then the process is, if it fits in our strategy, it is within our core or adjacent to our core. Those are the 2 first reviews that we would do, and then we take it from there. I can also maybe say that it starts with a discussion internally, but these things are also very, very confidential. So when you also feel there is something, don't spread the news to everybody that bring the idea to us, let's have a discussion, and then we agree on the next step. But sometimes we don't see the jewels, so be on the outlook for them. But it's a good question, Raluca. But to answer it, it comes from our people out in the field, and obviously as a group we always have. We have a whole department, and working on these targets. We have many targets on our radar screen. I want to say hundreds, but don't get too. It's not just in Canada, but globally, we would have hundreds of potential targets on the radar screen. But we rely more on the local teams to bring us some suggestions. Did that answer your question, Raluca?
Yeah. Yes, thank you.
Any other questions?
Yes. I see Mike asked if we're going to do any more green trucks or green vehicles, battery equipment, and for some reason George Green likes the green colored vehicles. I'm not sure why. I don't. That was a request with Valet and marketing with us, so you never know, but not so far, and no plans. So.
As long as the customer will pay, we make it actually any color, Sean. That's how it works. I shouldn't say that. No, we standard. Sorry, I withdrew my comment section. Draw my comment.
Yeah, see, Duncan asked about electrification and charging stations at our offices. Yeah, I know why you're asking that one, Duncan. We talked about that before, but yes, we're looking at that. We're just, and in fact, our Epiroc chargers are actually, our supplier have actually been put outside, and I've seen them at McDonald's and that, so it's possible. We are looking at it, but just need to finalize our some of the improvements in our charging for Canada first before we go there.
Hey, Sean, I wonder if we will continue to do conversion on other Epiroc machines.
Yeah, for sure, Michelle. Oh, so Matthew, sorry. Think of the other boy band. Hey, Matthew. No, we're doing a 436 now in Spain. And that's because a customer had a need. They got a big customer, a lot of vehicles, and we're actually doing a customer machine. So that's why I mentioned that if you have customers that need or certain machines or would like certain machines converted, or there's some other needs out there, then even if it's not our equipment, reach out and we'll see what we can do, because that's how, again, as Jason said, these projects start with conversations, and if there's something out there in a need, then let's have a conversation, and maybe there's an opportunity to do a good project. And we have a little extra engineering horsepower with FUT now, so we can probably take on some extra ones. So.
Any other questions?
Yeah, hey, Nat, Matthew here, the other one, the Korean one. I want to ask, how can someone be included in the voice workshops if someone has a manager who isn't a report owner?
Good question, Matt. Yeah, so it'll happen that, of course, some manager then gets the 5 people responding to the survey, either just low participation or they don't have 5 people reporting to them. So what I'll do in those cases is I will send those managers more of a generic presentation that they can use to do their workshops with their team. So it'll be a guideline presentation, but of course, free to tailor whatever action plans that the manager and the employees feel that they need to move forward. So yeah, no, good question, Matt.
We've got another one here from Nick Dillman. What is the thought with Sandvik's purchase of Deswick? Who would like to answer that one? Anybody?
Yeah, maybe Marty can take that one.
Sorry, I was searching for the mute button, but I mean, I think it's Deswick is a great company. They did a really good acquisition there. It would have been great to have under our portfolio, but I mean, Sandvik is chasing us, and they've seen our earlier acquisitions with MineRP, and I think it could almost be a response to that. And I'd say it's not something that's going to be detrimental to us. It's going to continue to keep us. Now we're 2 big OEMs competing, and they're chasing us into the same space of digital, and as well as we did earlier, they are now going ahead with the digital division. So we're going to have competition, and it's good. It's healthy. We're going to push the market to a good place. So.
If I can maybe, sorry, if I can maybe just add to what Marty said there, I think it's always good to know and definitely reconfirm what Marty is saying with their confirmation of their strategy around digitalization. But just so we know, we also, because this week was, they did make it known that they were for sale, so we were also in discussions, and I think it went into a bit of a bidding war. And in the end of the day, the long and short of it, I think our friends paid too much for them, but they have a good company, but they burn quite a lot of cash there. But we have competition, and that should just motivate us to even do better with what we have and what we will get.
Now, what we really hope is to, and same with the message of MineRP and the name brand, is that I mean, we're going to compete in some spaces, but collaborate in others. And the openness, the agnostic of our, our battery programs, of our digital, it's we don't have to take the whole pie, and we will work together. And the interoperability is what's going to drive our company forward. So.
Yeah, and I just to add to that, of course, Deswick was one there that we were in the game as well, but there are more to come. So,
Mhm.
of course, this is something that will grow, and there will be more coming our way as well. So, yeah, definitely the future, and we'll see what happens.
We've got another question here from Corey Burnett for Sean. Are we going to produce a kit for the ST7 Gen 1 to Gen 2?
Yeah, Corey, we looked at that. There's only 7 ST7 Gen 1s out there. So it's not the most feasible project right now to spend our time on, but we are looking and talking about finishing the ST7 that was started a couple years ago. And hopefully we'll be pushing that forward very shortly. So, and then we would also be looking at conversions of the regular ST7s diesel to ST7 battery. 42 conversion kits. We're looking at that right now, but it is very costly. The frames on the 42s, a lot of them were, we had some cracking issues in the first many, I don't know, a bunch of them made. So, and a lot of them were welded and fixed, and we'd have to be looking at, which we're looking into right now, what we would do on the frames for that. So, and we're adding weight when we change, so it affects the frames even more. Sorry, Brian.
My apologies, Sean. I cut you off. Were you finished with your thought?
Yeah, I think we are up for time now, right?
We are. We're a few minutes over. So, Charlie, if you
Yeah.
wanted to close up the meeting.
Yeah, no, thank you very much. I think it's been good to be able to share some of what has happened in the year and what we are doing currently. And as I said earlier, we will continue with this type of updates. Also, I would say, I don't know how many participated today. This is always a challenge. We're almost 450 employees, and trying to get everyone on board at the same time, it's difficult, but hopefully this recording would also help. And if anyone has any specific area that you like to cover in the future, please, contact Bree, and we will put it into our presentation as well. And again, I hope this was helpful, and I also like to take the opportunity to again wish everyone a great holiday and Merry Christmas and all this, and you get some time off with your family and close ones, and be able to recharge the batteries for a very exciting next year. So again, thank you very much to all of you, and to the presenters today, and Bree for organizing this. And yeah, take care and see you soon.